What is the most wholesome behavior you find really attractive? When people get really excited over something they enjoy. It was really hot and little rain for a couple of weeks, and we have backyard critters roaming around typical of the suburbs. So my wife puts a big Tupperware bowl of water out that she changes daily in case an animal gets thirsty. I was looking at it one day and a stick had fallen in the bowl, so I went to remove it. My wife yells at me, "No, don't take the stick out. That's so bees can crawl out if they fall in." I thought it was adorable. Being genuinely excited about something. I love me a nerd. Doing the right thing even when it's inconvenient. I was on a date and he took a call from a friend in crisis. They worked the problem out and he said, "I love you," to his friend. He explained he needed to take the call and apologized that it happened during the date. No apology necessary. He demonstrated loyalty and vulnerability, and it was incredibly sexy. Even better that it's just who he is. None of it was for show. Early on in my relationship with my BF, we were out on a Friday night and his little brother texted. He told me he needed to leave because it was his brother's birthday, and as it turned out, none of his brother's friends were available to hang out with him, so he was gonna go take him to get a beer. He apologized to me profusely for leaving me when we were supposed to have date night, and I told him if he hadn't ditched me to go hang out with his brother who was all alone on his birthday, I probably would have lost some respect for him. A week later, my own brother had a crisis and needed me to take him to urgent care on a night when I was supposed to hang out with BF. BF told me to not even bother apologizing because he got it. He'd have done the same and now understood why I told him not to apologize for going to his brother. And I love that our morals of being there for our families line up. My husband will run around playing games with our son in the playground and will fully commit to whatever game that is. There's no standing around talking to the adults. He will get fully involved in the make-believe world. 10-10, fully present parenting. People that make themselves crack up. People with their particular and weird little sense of humor that unashamedly laugh at what they think is so funny. Extra points if they're laughing because of a joke they're telling themselves. It's my favorite thing to see someone do. As long as the joke doesn't seriously hurt other people. I love good dark humor. If someone's genuinely trying to be hateful, it loses appeal completely. How to explain this? When I was in junior high, all the good students would raise their hands, barely staying in their seats, just desperately trying to get called on. There was this one guy, Jack, who just leaned back and watched. Totally chill. Jack never raised his hand, but any time the teacher called on him he knew the answer. He was the smartest guy in the class, but he felt zero desire to prove it or show off. I found that so damn hot. I've been drawn to quiet confidence ever since. New kink unlocked. My husband is basically a collection of wholesome traits that I find outrageously attractive. He never snarks, gossips, or puts people down. He's all about lifting people up, whatever their life may be. He loves to hype people and celebrate life. He can talk to anyone and make a connection. He would go to anyone's family cookout and legit be so happy to try the food and find out what your aunts and uncles were like. When I say, "Hey, someone new is coming to our house for dinner to spend the weekend," he's just like, "Cool, let's plan recipes." Our Maine Coon has him absolutely under her control. He talks to her so sweetly. He's precious with our old lady dog. One of my favorite pics of him is from a hike where her joints started hurting. He carried her like a baby the rest of the way, and she looks so happy in the pic. No matter how tired he is, when we are visiting any of our parents, he fixes things around their house for them. It's nothing for him to just install a dishwasher or move machinery equipment. He really appreciates anything new he gets. Like, I got him some nice sandals a few weeks ago and he has told me how much he likes them at least 4 times. When we became a couple, he made a video for me. It was a screen recording of him deleting all his dating apps. Each one asked why he wanted to cancel delete, and he gave them a 1-star review and wrote, "Didn't have burnt greens." And the 2 apps he did match with me on, he gave 5 stars and said, "Found burnt greens." In every decision I've seen him make, he chooses what's best for the greater good over what's easiest for himself. He's become fishing buddies with our neighbor, who is a very good dude as well. My husband recently bought a boat, something both guys have wanted for a long time and the neighbor couldn't afford. My husband said, "Now, this isn't my boat. It's our boat. We're both captains." When I told him how much I struggled with self-esteem stuff one time, he went out and bought a heart-shaped bowl, then filled it with little folded pieces of paper. each describing something different he loved about me. See why he gets laid constantly? I can't love him enough. If you only knew this dude's backstory, he's lived through crazy life experiences and been so resilient. He wound up dropping out of high school as a result, lived through hell, and pulled himself up. Today, he's a self-taught IT engineer.